Is this exciting? Will it run? All of the electrical is stock. 6-volt generator, Italian Electrics. Hi, I'm Paul Brodie, back in the shop. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Mitch behind the cameras. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We're working on the Black AERMACCHI today. I have cylinder head, I have parts that finally came in, and I want to show you a few things. I made an intake manifold and I matched the port. I don't say I ported, but I matched the port. And can you see what happened down there? It's matched. You can see the new gasket, the intake gasket there, made out of phenolic, and it matched up quite nicely. So that's one thing that I've worked on. I have the valves. I just lapped them in yesterday. So here's the intake valve. And this engine has about 7,000 miles on it. And you can see here, this is how you check. Can you see there's a tiny little bit of movement, but that's fine. But when I put in the exhaust valve, can you see all the wear there? What happens on these engines, because there's an ashtray head, it tends to run hot. It's air-cooled, so the valve guide is definitely worn. Can you see that? It's barely acceptable, so I'm going to order a new valve guide, and that'll happen sometime. See, this is the other style of cylinder head. This is the ashtray head, because it looks like an ashtray, but it stops all the air from going to the top of the cylinder head. It really masks the airflow, whereas on the knuckle head, the air can go right to the top of the cylinder head. And the valves are actually a lot. Look at the size of the valves here. This ashtray head, it's a pretty small valve. Can you see how this is a much larger exhaust valve? So this is a better head, but I kind of like this head because it's the only one I got like that. So we're gonna make it work. So the first step is to put the valves in, and then we're gonna assemble it on the bike. Shouldn't take that long. Haha. And then we'll see if we can fire it up. The bike hasn't been fired up for a few years. So I've got my valve spring compressor, and we'll put a little bit of oil on the valve stems, and then we'll pop in the keepers and all that. So we'll do the exhaust first. This is the exhaust. It's got a couple extra shims under the bucket, so we'll leave those on. There we go. That's the like that, and here's the keepers. It's nice when things all go together. These are stock valve springs, nothing special at all. Okay, so there's the keepers, and they have to go down inside. And it looks like it's in there. A little hard to see. And there's the one on top. I think it went in. Okay, now we'll do the intake. I know what, I use the combination. There we go. That's it. So with a scriber and tweezers, that seems to work. So what we want to do now is to seat them. So I got a plastic hammer and we give them a tap. And that's it. Okay, so now comes assembly. These are the O-rings that go down the cylinder studs. The old ones are really hard, so I don't know what all this white stuff is, but anyway. And then these guys go on, and the head studs, we torque them down, and then that's when the rocker arms go on. So a little bit of the procedure. There's a gasket that's got to go on there, so I'll put a little bit of Permatex on one side, just to hold it in place. So this is the upper pushrod gasket. That's what we call it. And it fits quite nicely right there. This little tube is the oil return line. So it has to go under the crankcase, and then the head, it goes on the other end. So it's a nice piece of rubber hose, and that's going to go on like that. I put a little bit of oil in there to help it to seat. I'll put on the hose clamps now. Easier to do these things. So when the head goes down, it slides right into there. And there's no head gasket. It seats onto this here. And that's cast iron. And the head is aluminum. No head gasket. I'm going to put just a little bit of anti-seize, just on the studs, just a little bit. I still have the fender unattached. All right, so it makes room for the cylinder head. See right here? That has to slide down into there, so that's why I put a little bit of oil on there. I didn't have the dowel quite matched. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so next thing I do is to put on the O-rings, and I'll use a little bit of grease just to help them slide down over the threads and things like that. It's one, don't need a whole lot of grease. Next up is these. It's all like a big fat washer and a step. And that's what the head nut goes onto. And these hold the O-rings down inside. Okay, next is the head nuts. It's a 17mm socket. I checked the torque setting and 30 foot-pounds. So I do have a torque wrench. Haven't used it in quite a while, but we will. On these ashtray heads, you can actually use a torque wrench. On the knuckle heads, because of the lack of space, you have to grind a wrench to make it fit. And then it's very hard to torque it. You just have to use experience and common sense, a little bit of intuition, and just know when you're getting up to 30 pounds. And you always go in a X pattern when you're talking. It's important. I got a gear wrench, torque wrench, manufactured in the USA. Woohoo. So if you're going to 30 pounds, you always go up incrementally. You don't just go 30 pounds. That's silly. We're going to start at 15. Well, oh, hear it click. There you go. You're just listening for that little click. We'll do this one again. Oh, it clicked. We'll go to 20. I put a little red arrow on there. Gets hard to see. And 25. And the last one is 30. And one more time. After you use the torque wrench, you always back it off. You don't leave it under pressure. So you see that groove there? That ends up matching in the hole. And it's the bolt that goes down through there. It stops this from moving around. So that's how that works. So, okay, so I gotta put the washer on this side. It's a little tricky. I'm going to put some oil on there to help hold it. There we go. And then this shims have to go in here. So I got my scriber and I can move the shims a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, here's the push rods. I labeled this one in. The inside push rod is intake. So we'll get that one in first. Ew. It's not quite going to fit. Okay, so we'll push this out. A little bit of a small setback. There we go. Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay, that one's in. Yeah, it's kind of my blind spot right there. Oh, look at that. Oh. Okay, so you can see how this one is angling that way a little bit, and the exhaust is angling that way a little bit. So I think I got them. Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, somewhere there. Okay, that one fits. So we'll put on the, this is that new lock washer, and we want it that way. So if it loosens, so I got the tab under here. Okay, we'll do this one now. Okay, we're good. Okay, that's pretty tight. Okay. All right, you gotta set the tappets now. Okay, I'll go for that. So, okay. Okay, we'll do the exhaust. Could be a little tighter. Okay, I like that. Because look, it hangs there, but I can just pull it out. All right, so this is leaking a lot here. So we're gonna add the pipe on there, oil feed pipe, then it won't leak anymore. So this guy goes like this. There we go, just like that. I've got some nice washers. I got these nickel plated as well. Looks like the oil that came out was pretty dirty, so looks like an oil change is in the future. Okay, we're sealed up there. I've got a new gasket, but I'm going to see if the old gasket will work. If it doesn't, it's easy to take off. Okay, put a little bit of oil on some bits. Oh, right there. Okay. Okay, exhaust is next. It's a $5 gasket. But I was thinking, because I had a little bit of a hard time finding some gaskets in that. And I was thinking, you know, if you can't get gaskets or O-rings, then I guess the motorcycle isn't worth much, because if you can't fix it, it's not good. So I was happy to pay whatever it was to get the gaskets. On Marketplace, I was looking there, and there's an AERMACCHI for sale. It's a 250. It's like a 67. It looks a bit rough. $1,800 Canadian. I guess that's kind of market price now. I used to buy them for $200. That was a long time ago. Okay. Exhaust is on. Now we got to put the carb on. Got the throttle cable all hooked up. It's a brand new carburetor. Never used this before. I put jetting into it that I think is close. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Fuel line. Okay, fuel line's on. Fender. Got to put the fender on. And then we can try and start it. I got this bike in '95, I believe, and it had 5,000 miles on it. That's it. So I put a couple thousand miles on it over the years. So hopefully now it'll get some more use. I hope this carburetor works very well. We'll find out soon. Okay. I found out years ago because I was having problems with the charging system. That's why I added an ammeter. See this light here? When I switch on the ignition, see how that little light comes on? If that light doesn't come on, if the bulb is burned out, the electrical system won't charge. It all hinges on that bulb. It's Italian. Okay, we're gonna see if this starts up. Got a new carburetor in second gear. thanks for watching our video. This is a success story, I believe. Mitch and I like coffee. Please subscribe, tell your friends. And what we do next time, maybe it's the red aeromacchi. I've almost got it ready to start up, so see you next time. Thanks.